What is Steve Jobs to do? Antenna glitches aside, a big lure of the iPhone was access to thousands of applications. But Jobs can't control developers the way that he might like, and they're now rushing to feed the latest droids. With me this morning is Bloomberg's point person on all things branded, Jay Margolis. He's a former top executive at Tommy Hilfiger as well as Reebok. He's also a current board member at Godiva and Boston Beers, all noted brands in their own right. Jay, you could say Apple faces a two-front war. The rise of Google's Android software on different mobile phones, and on the other hand, RIM and its new BlackBerry, which it's unveiling this week. Apple, of course, trying to recover from Antenna Gate, even if Steve Jobs downplays it. How much of a challenge could either Google or RIM pose to Apple's branding at this point?
The first most exciting thing for Apple would be the competition. I love the fact that all these people are getting into the category, which gets consumers very excited, which gets conversation focused on the category. And I believe then you focus on your business, and Steve is going to keep doing what his tribe asks of him. There are more and more apps being developed. The innovation that's going on in this category is extraordinary, and I think that's wonderful for Apple, and it's also good for its competitors. There's a funny commercial or ad running on YouTube where it talks about someone saying, well, but the Android does this. The battery can be replaced, and the other person says, I want an iPod. I want an iPod. And the other says, but it gives me greater connectivity, and I want an iPod. And it keeps going that way, and it's kind of funny. He's built a brand that transcends coolness, that it does what it's supposed to do. It keeps you connected, and it is a wonderful product.
Even if it doesn't offer the flexibility of some other devices?
It may not offer the flexibility. My assumption would be that Steve would keep coming back and keep reinventing himself and reinventing the product. A great article recently talked about the fact that every day they are starting over again. Every day they are thinking about what's next, and I think that's what makes a great company. And innovativeness and newness and how you come to market is what's exciting consumers.
Given all the problems that it's had, is Apple still the model for companies in other industries? Does everyone still want to be the Apple of their particular market?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's because of the innovativeness and the newness. In all the businesses I watch, whether it be Godiva Chocolate or Sam Adams, flow of newness excites consumers, which gets traffic in the stores, which gets conversion, which gets business, which makes these companies money. And I think BMW today is a good example of that. The 5 Series excites consumers, and they do well. I think everybody's has watched Apple and how he flows newness, how he controls his brand so tightly and makes sure that every part of it fits what you would expect of them.
Much to the chagrin of developers and other companies like Adobe, for instance.
Yes, and even Microsoft, who's a great company who just seems to not have that coolness factor, who just can't get to the innovative level that Apple has gotten to. Can Steve Jobs keep doing it? Is your point? It's a great question. And can they keep outperforming and out-apping and out-creating? My bet would be yes.
What about after Steve Jobs? Does he have a team there? Does he have a brain trust who can carry on even after he's not at the forefront of it?
In everything we watch from our industry, the person who's running their retail stores has done an amazing job. It's a retail experience beyond any that we had ever seen or expected. The productivity is amazing. My guess is there are people being developed through retail and through development, through technology that could hopefully carry forward. The history is that entrepreneurial people like Steve are very hard to replace. There's something, again, in this article, they talked about him being on every detail of what gets launched and how it gets done. It's going to be different. Better or worse is a hard thing to judge, but it will be different.
Okay, there's a lot of talk about deflation, concerns that prices are falling. Apple, though, has maintained pricing power. That's a big part of its brand, isn't it? That even though it costs a lot, people are still willing to pay for the product.
Consumers will pay for newness. Consumers will pay for excitement. The end use is what's so important. And I think that's true of retail. It's true of all product categories.
All right, thank you so much. I've been speaking with Jay Margolis, our local branding expert.